Well, thank you so much for the warm welcome, Andrew. Vanderbilt is having their best start to the season since 2007. Now, while this is very exciting from the outside, when you look on the inside, you don't want to tell that to head coach Mark Byington, who says there hasn't been a team-defining moment yet. The only question that he is asking right now is, what's next? You lose to Drake, what's next? You win all these games, what's next? So I asked him the most important game this season, and he said, well, you guessed it, what's next? This one right here. Guys, well, thank you, Jake. With Christmas break in the review mirror, the Commodores had some time to reset, but after any break, the question is rest or rust. It could go either way. So I asked head coach Mark Byington, and he immediately said rest, but not the kind you may be thinking. He said they really needed the mental reset over the physical, and that's because the depth that he has coming off this bench. He emphasized that because after the break, they head into conference play in a week. On Saturday, starting at LSU, and then Tuesday back at home against Mississippi State. So when he concluded practice yesterday, his message was simple. Your job right now is basketball, and stay mentally prepared. Thank you, Jake. Shane, you said that you didn't see a flow first half. Well, coach agreed, saying they have been looking lethargic. There has been some good spurts, he said, but not enough on either side of the ball. He said they haven't done a good job at getting those loose balls and want to see more hustle on the boards. Guys, it's what we talked about this whole first half. Some days off, rest or rust. We may be seeing a little bit of rust right now, but coach is hoping they shake that off in the second half and get that flow going.
Alexa, what else do you have on the talented freshman for Vanderbilt?
Well, you touched on him taking care of the basketball. One of the biggest things Byington wanted to clean up from last week was ball security. The Commodores came into last week's matchup ranked top 10 in the country in that category, but in their 17 turnovers, that told a different story last week. Byington wasn't thrilled with that performance. He's hoping it was just a one-time thing, saying ball security is one of their biggest strengths and has to stay priority. He said it's key to keeping both their offense and defense running smoothly. So far today, they looked much more in control with the basketball with just 3 turnovers so far. Welcome back to Memorial Gymnasium, where Vanderbilt leads 20-7. Joining me now is someone who had a say in the hiring of head coach Mark Byington, and that is athletic director Candace Story-Lee. Candace, I loved what you said when you introduced Mark Byington as head coach. The word fit is often used as a throwaway word, but you used it very intentionally. Why is Byington the right fit for Vanderbilt?
You know, I was telling some donors earlier today that in the first conversation that I had with him, he said, I've been waiting on you to call me.
All these new transfers, the hard part is getting individuals to start playing together. How impressed are you that he's got these guys to gel so early on?
You know, I'm very impressed by him, but I'm not surprised.
Welcome back to Memorial Gymnasium. Vanderbilt's up 24-13. Vanderbilt is all about a fast-paced offense, forcing double-digit turnovers in 11 of their 12 games this season. And that's why it's interesting when head coach Mark Byington gave the team a break from basketball over the holidays. Instead of having them on the court, he focused on keeping them in shape, saying that's key with this offense, with some weight training and stretching. But when it came to actual gameplay, he hit the pause button. For Byington, the priority was making sure his players came back healthy and ready to go, telling me we didn't come back until December 26th. So when we came back, it's a singular focus mentality, especially with no classes going on right now, saying I know they needed the break and they looked good in practices when returning. Guys.
Alexa, with some more thoughts on the depth of this Mark Byington bunch.
Jake, right now, Tyler Tanner, Jason Edwards, 15-plus points, 5-plus rebounds. Tyler Nickel, 5 3-pointers. This team is loaded with transfers this season. Building a culture of selflessness has been a key factor in their impressive 11-1 start, just like how you guys talked about. It all comes down to playing the right way. Coach Byington said, well, the right way, just find the open guy. He's quick to point out that very few plays are designed for just one guy to take the shot. When the team is playing the right way, he said, you'll see it on the scoreboard. because a lot of different guys will be scoring. Well, look tonight, 4 guys are in double digits. I talked to Jason Edwards at practice yesterday, and the 4th time really is the charm for him. His journey has taken him from a small Division II school to junior college to North Texas and now Vanderbilt. His scenery kept changing, but his love for basketball never has. One memory he says he will never forget happened the summer before his senior year of high school. He was on a Zoom call with Assumption University, sitting at his grandma's computer with his whole family gathered around. By the end of the call, they told him he was getting a scholarship, and he remembers everyone crying. He says that moment meant everything to him. He said what made it so emotional was knowing how hard he worked to get there, saying nothing came easy for him, and that's why he played with a chip on his shoulder ever since. Now at Vanderbilt, he says he's exactly where he's always meant to be. Jake, it's funny you mentioned that because after practice yesterday, Coach Byington said he had a clearer message for his team. You need to be ready to go at all times. It's a mindset that perfectly reflects the Commodores' depth this season. They already had 2 games where 5 players scored in double digits, and in their last game, 10 different players put points on the board as well. That kind of production comes from a deep bench, and that's why this team's motto is strength in numbers. Byington said there are nights where it's tough to tell who their best, second best, or even third best player is. Their real strength right now is their ability to rotate 9, sometimes even 10 players into a game. And players told me that break they get on the bench actually helps them see the game better. And if you look over at the bench during this game today, I think you see that. The players stay locked in. Tyler Tanner, guys, has had 23 assists, leads the team in steals, and has 0 turnovers this season. He's been balling his whole life, though. As we know, he grew up about 11 miles from here in Brentwood. His parents both played basketball. His dad here at Vanderbilt, but he grew up with his dad coaching him, and he said his dad actually stopped coaching him in middle school. His dad stepped back. So many times we hear about kids being overcoached by parents, but his dad said, too many voices in your ears. I want to be your dad. You got coaches. Tyler said even though he's not coaching him in basketball, he's coaching him in life. Dad is his inspiration as a